Good morning, everyone. My name is Anders Oskal. I'm the Executive Director of International Center for Reindeer Husbandry, one of the institutions co-hosting these days. I would first of all like to welcome you all to Kautokeino, or Kautokeino. The name of this place have an explanation, or several rather. Gouda means in the middle, and Geino means the road. So it's one explanation is that this is in the middle of the road, in between Alta, in between Karesuando on the Swedish side, in between Karasjok. Another explanation is that it's linked to the word Gouda Etno, referring to the fact that the river, or river system, rather than being just a simple small river running, it's a more or less part of different lakes, so growing wider as it goes along. This area, this municipality is quite unique in a Norwegian setting, but also in a Scandinavian setting. It is what we refer to as one of the core Sami areas. In this village of Kautokeino, where we have roughly 2,000 people, and in the municipality, which contains roughly 3,000 people, the majority language is Sami. So between 90 to 95% of people here have Sami as their mother tongue. It's also an area where Sami traditions are quite strong. And of course we are dealing with reindeer herding, but there are also other traditional forms of livelihoods that still live here. We usually like to refer to this area, Kautokeino, as the heart of Sami land, Sapmi. And this is also winter pastures, winter lands of the reindeer, and as of now the reindeer herds are returning from the coast to the interior, and you may have seen reindeer on your way in here. Indeed, me and Johan almost provided this delegation with fresh reindeer meat. We almost hit one. We did okay, but the point is that this is also a very important part of the annual cycle of the reindeer and the reindeer herders, these winter lands. Much of reindeer herding in Scandinavia in fact originates from Kautokeino. There are some exemptions, the reindeer herding in the far south of Norway and Sweden, but this region has been exporting, we should say, reindeer and reindeer herders, not only to Scandinavia, but also to Alaska, some 120 years ago, to Canada, to Greenland, and also we've sent some reindeer to the Antarctic. And this might be interesting when we are to discuss the resilience of a community, because this has been sort of a growing place for reindeer herders and reindeer herding knowledge. Kautokeino is also unique because of the institutions that we find here. Now, as I said, it's quite a small community, but still there are some academic and international institutions here that are noteworthy. We are now, for instance, in the building that also hosts the Sami University College. And this institution, through its merger with Nordic Sami Institute, established in 1973, this constellation represents, to my knowledge at least, the oldest self-governed academic indigenous institution in the Arctic. And there are also international institutions, one of which is the International Center for Reindeer Husbandry. We work with reindeer herding peoples across the circumpolar Arctic. All the national states, 9 national states altogether, 28 regions, over 20 indigenous peoples and groups involved in reindeer herding. Yes, these regions also are no strangers to change. We have experienced changes before, but we could also say that those have occurred relatively moderately over time. And indeed, in, for instance, our language, the Sami language, we find, for instance, no word for stability, as Juha Tisturi, one of the speakers, have said earlier. There is no word for stability, so we instead search for, our adaptation is based on something else. We also have sayings in the Sami language, one of which is Yahki ila yagi vielja, meaning that one year is not the brother of another year. So one year is not the same as the next. So variability we have experienced. But what is new now is that the rate of change is beyond our experience. And the concept of resilience is also about finding how we could handle rates of change outside our own experience, and how to use new tools to maintain robust societies. Because we have, as the great drivers now, climate change in a long-term perspective will impact this region very much. We have scenarios under the A1B scenario in IPCC stating that we could in 100 years have 8 degrees plus in this region. And the Arctic is also quickly becoming a part of the global economy. And we also have examples on that. There's an ongoing discussion and debate around mineral extraction. So the gold price, for instance, is something that really has an effect. This global change, the global phenomena of gold prices really have an effect on this local community and reindeer herding. So even though resilience may be a concept that's a little hard to grasp right away, it is about how we plan and organize society to handle quick and dramatic changes. It's about the management and organization of reindeer herding to secure a future for this unique livelihood. And this is why it's so important, we think, that this seminar is held here in Kautokeino. And we are very happy and very proud to be able to co-host this together with you. And with those words, I will just wish you welcome to our homeland.